Thank you very much to Arena Club for sponsoring this video. If you're new here, welcome in, and if you know me, welcome back. And today we're going to do something highly requested. You guys have seen the Pros vs. Joes videos and the Shaq versus videos, and you guys have been supporting them, which I heavily appreciate. So today we're going to use this time to try to branch out and try another series as well. This way we can have a healthy rotation of 2000s era niche sports challenge shows. Welcome to 4th and Long. 4th and Long is another Spike TV offering where 6 wide receivers and 6 defensive backs, well, 6 former wide receivers and 6 former defensive backs will compete to have a chance to make the Dallas Cowboys training camp roster. And when I say 6 former wide receivers and former defensive backs, these guys were either playing in college or playing in arena football leagues or playing in like a semi-pro league or even the XFL. And they all think that they missed their chance at the NFL. So this is kind of like Pros versus Joes, except for these guys actually like have the talent to have been in the league in theory. Like they all have a shot. Some of them say that they were projected like 3rd or 4th rounders and they got hurt, etc., etc. They all have a story. And immediately you know that this is the most Dallas Cowboys video possible. I can't name that many sports franchises that would even begin to entertain this idea. Now, the first thing that stands out to me is the fact that they picked 6 wide receivers and 6 DBs. And the defensive back part is what gets me because that is one of the consensus hardest positions to play in sports. Not just football, sports. If I had to make a guess on who wins this challenge overall, I'm going to pick a wide receiver over a defensive back. This entire show premise also reminds me of the Madden long shot mode that they had in Madden 18, so Madden may have taken inspiration from this. I have no idea. Anyway, let's get to the pilot. The pilot episode starts out at the Cotton Bowl facility, and it seems like we're going to get introduced to all of these players one-on-one. The buses were separated by defensive back and wide receiver, so until they're wide receivers, I will just say you'll know that they're defensive backs until I say otherwise. First up, 30-year-old Dante Gamble, who is 5'8", and people thought that he was too small to play in the league. Next up, 24-year-old Eric Jackson, another defensive back, who actually played for Texas and was the number 9 safety in the nation coming out of high school. And he gives kind of a wild reason for not being in the NFL.
Why I'm not playing NFL is because my punk agent tried to package me with another guy, and teams, they didn't really want to fool with that.
And if I'm an NFL team, yeah, that sounds kind of stupid. Then there's Eddie Moten, an Arena Football League defensive back that played for the Philadelphia Soul and was first team All-Arena. Now, this is back when the Arena Football League was a thing, but then it got canceled. And he talks about how him and his family were really depending on that for a job and for financial security. And I remember as a kid, the Arena Football League was super popular to me, at least. Like, to me, I thought that the Arena Football League, before I found out about the business and all of that, the Arena Football League, I remember I went to some Carolina Cobras game. I went to a Philadelphia Soul, like where the Philadelphia Soul played. And there was even a couple of video games for it. There may have been one or two Arena Football games. I think there was one, at least one. They may have done it again. That might be its own deep dive if y'all want. I think that since he played in the Arena Football League, my money's on him currently right now out of the defensive backs. Now, I'm really confused here because they said that there are going to be 6 defensive backs, and I see 6 people here, but they only introduced 4. And I thought that I was tripping, but no, they only introduced 4 before going to the wide receivers. First up for the wide receivers is Preston McGann, a former college baseball player who got injured in baseball and wanted to try football and was told that he couldn't play in the college level. But Preston was MVP of the semi-pro league and played for the XFL team, the Orlando Rage. Are all my videos connected somehow in some cinematic universe? I guess, man. Next up is 22-year-old Andrew Hawkins, who was a two-way player at the University of Toledo. He says that being 5'7" isn't making the NFL knock down doors to try to get him on their teams, and I get that. Next up, Wisconsin team captain Luke Swan, and he got injured his senior year, which scared off the pro scouts from him. Jesse Holley is a 25-year-old wide receiver who played at UNC and was second team All-ACC. Holly also played basketball at UNC, and he says that playing two sports kept him away from truly focusing on just one sport. Very, very good rationale there. Wait, they only introduced 4 people again. Again, what is happening here? What? Also, you might see some people that you recognize in this video. I just want to say, please do not spoil anything for anyone, please. Even me, I have no idea who wins this competition.
Make us on the field now.
Typical relationship between a wide receiver and a DB. It's kind of like 2 rival boyfriends or something. We just don't like each other.
I don't like wide receivers, man. And it's a beautiful thing because I get to get out there on that field and destroy a guy without going to jail.
I mean, okay then. So yeah, they start chirping back and forth for a little bit, and then we see a shadowy figure. And of course, it's Michael Irvin. And are we absolutely sure that Michael Irvin didn't audition for Blade or Men in Black back then? Because Blade I understand because he did stab a teammate with some scissors back in the day, so that probably would have been in poor taste. I'm going to take that back. But he was a really good actor in The Longest Yard. What I really love about this moment is that everybody shuts the hell up when they realize who they're dealing with here.
We realize it's Michael Irvin, and everyone's just, got that deer in the headlight look.
They got from trash talking to a straight face. Okay, this is serious.
Like, everybody's just like, oh shit, it's Michael Irvin. Like, he's one of the holy trinity of the Cowboys here, man. Like, shut up. Michael Irvin starts with a monologue, and he says something that I found super interesting.
Men, last year was a huge disappointment for the Dallas Cowboys. So a man who loves this team and always puts his money where his mouth is, Jerry Jones, has given me a mission. Find a winning player.
So a couple of things here. One, the Dallas Cowboys went 9-7 in 2008 and missed the playoffs. So that is a disappointment, especially after going 13-3 the season before. Number 2, the 2008 team was 9th in total passing yards and 5th best in passing yards allowed, while being 21st in rushing yards and 12th in rushing yards allowed. I'm just saying that for this show, that it didn't really seem like wide receiver and cornerback was on the team's needs list. I mean, you had Terrell Owens and Jason Witten. I don't think that a Spike TV challenge winner is immediately shifting the tides here on the depth chart. That's just me. I'm still going to watch and still going to be invested, but that's how I'm thinking about this. Like, this team didn't need a wide receiver. You have 2 Hall of Famers. Another reason I saw this as odd is because even though the Dallas Cowboys had 12 draft picks in that offseason and drafted 4 secondary players and 1 wide receiver. Side note, that draft is known as one of the worst drafts from the Dallas Cowboys in NFL history. Another thing is that there's only one winner of this competition. It's not 1 wide receiver and 1 DB. It's just 1 person here. There's only 1 spot for the roster. Now, next up, they introduce a guy named Nate.
The guy's helping me is a 6-time Pro Bowler with 3 Super Bowl rings. Better run when you see him coming because this is the big nasty and the bearer of bad news. He's our Turk. That's the big fella, Nate New.
What's up, fellas?
Now, Nate has their jerseys for them, and there are no numbers on them because they haven't been earned yet.
I need cell phones, I need pages, anything that distracts you, anything that don't make you a football player, I need it. Fork it over.
Every guy looking at my cell phone, well, how am I gonna talk to my family or friends, anything? He didn't care about any of that.
The pages, your Wii games.
So, wait. They're taking away their phones to eliminate any distractions, which begs me to ask the question, how long this showcase challenge will be? I think that there's like 10 or 11 episodes, I think. Oh, also, there's also one more twist.
Okay, that's it for tonight. Big day tomorrow, starting bright and early with some drills. I'm leaving, so turn out the lights when I'm gone and get a good night's sleep. You'll need it. That's right. This is your new home.
We all looked around like shocked. Like, here?
You're gonna live here, sleep here, breathe here. hit hurt right here until I say you're gone.
What's taking me out is that they're panning to the players that haven't been introduced yet. So while I'm watching this, I'm also going like, wait, who is that? Who is this? Also, if I was on this show, this would be the point of the explanation where I would start looking around like, are they being serious here? Because I never believed in the whole 100% locking in part of athletics, the whole Mamba mentality of it. Like, I don't believe in cold turkey discipline at all. Like, I'm supposed to be doing all of these drills, and then what? I can't play Snake in my downtime, or whatever the cell phone games were at the time, like Brick Breaker, Block Breaker. Also, I just watched the Cowboys documentary. Y'all were wilding on your downtime, man. And okay, I digress. Timeout, full. It's time to talk about today's sponsor. I'm a big fan of collecting things. I collect jackets, jerseys, and other forms of sports history and memorabilia. I'm always on the lookout for cool ways to preserve sports history in any way I can, and one of those is through sports cards. That's why I rock with today's sponsor, Arena Club. Arena Club aims to become the future of trading in a digital format, and with their slab packs, you can get authentic, graded cards instantly. And what you do with those cards is entirely up to you. Have those cards shipped directly to you, or you could have the option to hold and trade those cards if you so choose. That's right, even though the packs are digital, the cards are physical. There are many different types and levels of slab packs to fit your price range, starting at $25 and going upward from there. Arena Club shows you the full list of every possible card in the slab pack that you buy, as well as the exact odds you have of pulling each card up front. And each pack has a chance at a grail that's at least 20 times the price of the pack you purchased. I opened up a Ruby basketball pack and I got a 2018 Luka Doncic, and I'm able to see the results of my entire digital collection in my Arena Club showroom whenever I want to see them. Right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/Kofie and use the code Kofie, Kofie. Thanks again to Arena Club for sponsoring today's video. And thank you guys for checking out my sponsors. I really appreciate it. Anyway, the groups have their own separate locker rooms and it's showtime. Now, to be fair, the digs don't look completely bad. There's a foosball table and a TV, and all the beds don't look bad. So the DBs and wide receivers, they each get their own locker room, and they get to press play on the DVD players that are featured in the locker room. And it's a tape of their competition. This is also where we're introduced to Steve Gonzalez, who calls himself Speedy Gonzalez. He says he's not in the NFL right now because at the time his dad passed away and he wanted to focus on his family at the time. The other person we were introduced to is Montrell Jones, a wide receiver who played at the University of Tennessee and then Louisville, and he has something to prove. The wide receivers now get to watch the defensive backs when we get introduced to Ahmad Smith at DB, who played at Tennessee State and then tore his MCL getting out of the bathtub.
Getting out of a tub, something that you've been doing since you were 4 or 5 years old, that sucks.
And the next one is Moses Washington, who was at the University of Oklahoma and was ranked #1 in the nation for the 800-meter run. And they're joking about him because he doesn't have many football highlights, but let me tell you that the 800-meter race is one of the most insane things you can do on a track. I ran track. I was never going to run 800, bro. Are you out of your mind? That's just some superhuman level stuff. If there are any endurance competitions here, my money will 100% be on him. Now, Moses immediately shows the rest of the defensive backs room that he doesn't have the typical energy of a defensive back.
Man, first of all, I want to give them a round of applause because they do have a highlight team. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not clapping for you, boy.
Y'all don't have to give them a round of applause, but when we go play against them, you're going to have to bring your A game.
I only know one game. That is A game, man. That's it.
I love how the other defensive backs are like, nah, forget about all that, dude. We're not listening to you. What are you talking about?
You know what you can do. Man, let's go be confident out here.
I mean, we as DBs, we just want to make sure, you ain't scared,
Moses, are you scared? If we want to go to war, can you go to war with us?
I'm going to be really interested in how much of a team aspect develops here because at the end of the day, it still is every man for themselves, but there seems to be a defensive back versus wide receiver pride thing going. Anyway, the next day arrives and it's time for the first day of practice, and of course, everybody wants to prove themselves. And then the Cowboy legends show up, like 3-time Super Bowl champion special teams coach Joe Avisano, And then there's Bill Bates, the 1984 Pro Bowler and also 3-time Super Bowl champion. Joe's coaching the wideouts and Bates is coaching the defense. But they say that the best way to make an impression is through special teams.
Who's going to be that player that's going to sign that contract and actually go to training camp with the Dallas Cowboys?
The quickest way you can make an impression on the Dallas Cowboys when you go to training camp is through special teams.
And the first drill is a punt cover drill, which is 1 gunner against 2 defenders. First up is Preston McGann. He goes up against the 2 DBs, and I think he does fine until the point where he gets absolutely lit up by, I want to say, Eddie Moten here. Now, this might be a block in the back, but this is Spike TV, so who cares? Speedy Gonzalez is up next.
Speedy, you're up!
And he tries to get around them, but the DBs win this rep with ease. Luke Swan goes next, and he just doesn't have any success at all.
Get out of here! Swan, that wasn't very damn impressive.
For the defensive backs, Eric Jackson is the next to go, and he's able to beat the wideouts and tackle the practice player for an overall great rep.
Until you put on a helmet and hit somebody, words can't explain how that feels.
Montrell Jones goes next and absolutely trucks Steven Andrews, so it's a 1v1 and he wins that rep for sure. Meanwhile, Steven Andrews does basically nothing on his rep and has a question for Coach Joe.
Looks like the blue team just got their butts kicked.
I have a question. He allowed to slap my head? Is that legal?
Is he allowed?
I'm just saying, is that legal?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And I love how Coach Joe is just looking at him like, I know you just didn't try to complain about a call on a Spike TV football reality show, man. I know you just didn't try to do that.
Andrews was complaining about holding, being too physical. This football. And if he wasn't ready for the physicality of the football game, he should have stayed at home.
Next up is Hawkins, who splits the defense and gets the rep. And dude, look at the speed. But my favorite part of the drill is Michael Irvin wearing the same shit he wore yesterday. Just pulling up to the function like it's a Spider-Man PS5 level before it's time to do a stealth mission. And then we go to a montage of the players being super tired, and then it just cuts to Michael Irvin just pacing back and forth like he's observing. He is observing, but it's just in a funny way.
Chase him down, chase him down.
We're tired out here. But you gotta go through to be a cowboy, I guess.
Make the tackle, make the tackle.
After the montage, it's that point of the show where we see how everybody is tired, and then we start to see our first vomiter. Yes, that's right, first vomiter. All right, I'm just gonna sidebar and talk to my editor, Stu, here. Please don't have any video of people vomiting, maybe just like a screenshot of them before they're about to vomit, because they get the idea. As someone that always like eats during watching YouTube videos, I just don't want to show that while people are eating. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to the rest of the video. Michael Irvin comes down the field and gives another speech.
You should be begging to go again because you got to have the desire to override your fatigue. You tell your body, I'm not listening. I got too much at stake to listen. I'm going every time I get an opportunity to go, I'm going. Body, shut up. And mind, let's work.
And honestly, I'd run through a wall after that, I think. But you have to table that run through the wall because it's time to have another conditioning test after all of that they just did. So now they're running 110s. I just saw 2 people throw up before this drill. So I don't know, man. It's going to look rough here. They have to run 110 yards in 17 seconds. So basically it's a 100-meter sprint, but like at like a 70% pace, I'd estimate. On paper, that doesn't sound that bad, but the yards will add up.
If I'm playing against you and I see you leaning on your knees, it gives me confidence that I'm going to beat your ass. Stay up.
At 1,760 yards, which is basically a disjointed mile, it's Montrell's turn to vomit. And with words of encouragement from Michael Irvin, he's able to finish the drill. And now we get to another lesson where Michael Irvin wants them all to run a 40-yard dash after everyone just ran about 2,000 yards. And Michael Irvin, his rationale is like, yeah, man, in the fourth quarter, when you're tired, you just need that one extra, like, sprint, an extra burst. And, like, I get it, but Jesus. Jesse Holley runs a 4.75.
Go, Jones.
Jones, we got to see a little something, but you know,
Coach Avezzano, he said, Montreal, I know you sick, but you better not run anything 5 seconds or over. So I had to run as fast as I can, sick or not.
Come on, Jones.
4.85.
All right.
For Montrell Jones, it's his turn, and he goes all out and runs a 4.85. He wanted to go under 5 because he's absolutely cooked and wanted to prove that he's no quitter. And this is at the time where it's starting to really hit me. It's like, these guys really want this chance, bro. They're better than me, man. I would have turned away after the 110s. Steven Andrews runs a 4.6, which is great after his dismal performance in the gunner drill. Moses Washington, the track star, runs a 4.63. He's not going home today. I can bank on that. Steve Gonzalez tries to give it a go, but he catches a cramp.
The coaches, they want to keep the drill going, so they call the trainer Holly over to work on him.
Lay back, lay back. I got you. Lay back. Lay back.
Holly said if you can get him out of the way, we got work to do.
I gotta say, damn. And I've never played football in my life, but is this how y'all were living in practice? Because I played basketball, right? Basketball practices were tough, but this is how y'all were living, bro? For real? Hawkins runs a 4.95 for the fastest time of the day, which is crazy after all of that. And I'm wondering if they're going to send Steve home because of this. Like, he is injured. He has a cramp. Next up, it's time to go to the film room, but not before everyone comes to terms with the reality of the competition that they're in.
I've been through a lot of workouts in my life, dog. I ain't gonna throw up so many times in workout. I still had to run 40 and do wind sprints.
I have never been through a workout of that caliber in my life. That was a legitimate fourth quarter training.
Fourth quarter training.
Luke Swan says that he came here in shape and is surprised that a lot of them aren't in football shape.
That's the hardest first day of practice you're ever gonna have in your life. I don't care where you play.
One time I got so dizzy I thought I seen Saddam Hussein in the left end zone. I was like, Lord, what?
Let's continue. Now they go to the film room and we're all introduced to another Cowboys number 88, Drew Pearson, the Hall of Famer, who gives them another inspiring motivational speech and talks about how he was an undrafted player that made it to the Hall of Fame as well. At this point, I thought that we were going to watch each player's film and see who was getting cut, but nope, that's not what happened here. That's for tomorrow. We get to cut day, which is the day after. The bros are all lifting weights and wondering who's going to get sent home. The three head to the show, go to the war room, and start to talk about the players. They talk about Moses Washington's size and speed, and I honestly wonder what would have happened if he played wideout instead, because I don't know. He played defensive back in college. Maybe let's see if you're a wide receiver. They move on to Dante Gamble, and they all love him. They didn't really show that much of Dante Gamble in this entire show episode, but they all love his fight. Eric Johnson, they praise for his motor, and then they move on to Steven Andrews, who they show him like quitting on the drill a little bit. Then they go to Montrell Jones to see the strength of him, but they're disappointed in his conditioning. They love Hawkins, man. They're fine with him. They're like, yeah, he's cool. McCann, they think he's too tall to not be doing tall people shit. Like, he's trying to do like the shorter burst moves, and he's just not able to make it work. For Steve, they like the speed, but they hate how he got injured. So they end up calling Steven Andrews, Steven Gonzalez, and Montrell Jones, and they're up for elimination. And they're only calling 3 people up for elimination and putting them in the war room.
See 2 wide receivers in here right now. It's a serious, serious disappointment to me. Wide receivers are supposed to be able to run all day, bar none.
Irvin calls out Montrell's conditioning, and Steve caught a cramp.
I just want to know, did you prepare yourself to come here and take advantage of this? Or?
Honest truth, I thought it was in good shape. Coming from the arena league is a bigger field. I'm coming from running 50 yards. You know, I got to get used to running 100 yards.
I'm not buying all that. Because I think a lot of arena players, and I expected more than you cramping up yesterday.
And they're looking at Steve cramping and disappointment, but like, dude, as someone that was an athlete, you can do all the prevention you want for this, but sometimes this just happens. They did a lot of drills, then ran 2,000 yards, then ran a 40. I'm surprised the injury isn't more severe, I'm going to be completely honest. Now, Steven talks about how he did bad in the drill and tries to make up for it.
Montreal, you go back to the skybox. But you better give me a great effort from here on out.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that Montrell was at risk of going home, man. He was showing flashes of good, unlike Steven Andrews. And it all comes down to this.
Steven Andrews. This is the end of the line. The Cowboys cannot use you. Maybe you can play for somebody, but it won't be for Dallas. You're cut.
It was a pleasure, seriously.
Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. He wasn't remarkable enough to stand out and was complaining to the coaches, and then everybody else in the show was like, dude, this is football, man. Now with Steve, he gets a jersey number along with the rest of the players, and that's the end of the episode.
I was surprised I got cut because I did run a very good time in the 40, and the 2 people who were with me didn't really show up for that. One didn't even finish.
I get where he's coming from, but the other 2 show way more potential. Next up, we get a preview of the next episode.
Next time on 4th and Long.
Football isn't always played indoors in perfect conditions.
And I think that's a great segue into the next episode, which will be the next video. A couple notes about this show early. First of all, Michael Irvin is like really good at this TV stuff. Like, he doesn't need hand holding from another host or anything. It's really interesting to see, like, he was a natural for this reality show TV stuff. Second, the show really did a good job of captivating the emotional weight of the stakes very well. Like, this isn't pros versus Joes, where Joes get to live out their dream. This show is players fighting for a chance to continue that dream. I think casting did a great job getting guys that you can look at and be like, I actually believe that they could make an NFL practice squad at least. So, on to the next episode, I guess. Thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. Feel free to support me on Patreon. Feel free to support me on Nebula. It really helps me in terms of being able to pay for editors and getting consistent quality videos out for you guys. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Stu on the edits. I'll see you guys later. Bye!